Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your reading for February the 10th through the 16th. Guys, I am really sorry that this is running a bit late because I have gone into I've had major technical difficulties, and that is because Mercury is getting ready to go direct, so the planet's slowing down and all the symbolism from that planet is amplified right now. So I am feeling it, darling. So this is Live in the Solution, and I'm your astrologer, Mary Trimble, and tarot card reader. And we have your readings here. Let's go straight to them, shall we? Let's not muck about, as they say in England. All right. This is for Sagittarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Sagittarius for February the 10th through the 16th? And I'm recording this on the 10th. Today would have been my mum's 91st birthday. I think it's 91st. Yeah, she would have been 91. Yeah. Wow. Okay. 3 cards for Sagittarius, please. 3 cards for Sagittarius. What wonderful... Oh, there's... How many is that? 2. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Sagittarius? There we are. Lovely. Okay. It's so funny. I was thinking about this card in my meditation, believe it or not, right before the reading. Okay, these are clarifying cards for Sagittarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Sagittarius through these clarifying cards for February the 10th through the 16th. Oh, I'm feeling this energy, guys. Lovely. Please clarify the sun. There it is. Oh, there's 2 cards for that. Wow. Please clarify the page. Nope. Wanted to come out but didn't. Did that come out? Nope. There it is. Oh, okay. And please clarify 10. Oh, yeah. Fabulous. Okay. All righty then. Oh dear, I forgot to put my other camera on. I've got the macro and the micro. I say camera, it's really an iPhone. We do what we can, darling. All right, so Sagittarius, the first card out for you is the Sun card. This is, this is a beautiful energy, the Sun card. The Sun is shines a light everywhere. It's not prejudice. Everybody gets the sunshine, right? And I have a feeling that this Sun is going to kind of shine a light on something. Now, this is an auspicious card. It also means that you need to allow your inner child to come out and play, right? Look, this is a beautiful white horse with big daisies and a child riding it. The white horse represents purity. You've got the sun shining, the sunflowers. It is such a lovely feeling card. And clarifying the Sun, there are 2 cards. There's the 5 of Cups, which really means that the 5 of Cups is when you are... It's known as crying over spilt milk, right? So the 5 of Cups is you crying over something that's gone and you can't do anything about it. It's gone. It's a waste of energy, Sagittarius. when this card comes into a reading, it's saying focus on what you have. There are two chalices behind this guy, and he's just looking down and just totally wasting his energy and mourning over what's gone. And the thing is that, look, we all get annoyed when things are gone, yeah, but don't stay in it. It's like, appreciate what you have. Look at your glass as half full as opposed to half empty. Okay, now what's really interesting is the next card you have is the Six of Swords. Now this is next to this, under the sun, right? So the Six of Swords is about moving on from a situation that no longer works for you. And I feel that the sun is going to shine a light on that. You probably already know that, look, this is something that's gone and you need to move on from it, right? The Six of Swords is get in the boat. There's greener pastures. There's calmer waters ahead. Just keep moving. Look, she's just got a cloak around her. She's not even looking back. She's just leaving surreptitiously in the middle of the night. It's like you've got to get away from this cup half full, half empty, sorry, because the sun's shining on you and it's going to lead the way. Move on, Sagittarius. It's time for a new adventure, new beginnings. It's time to move away from that feeling of, look, it's gone. You can't bring it back, so just go. Sometimes that means that somebody doesn't love you anymore and you can't make them love you, I remember a woman saying that to me ages ago. She'd had a child with this guy and they'd split up and she was really upset. She says, I can't make him love me. And that's so true. I remember thinking, wow, that's so poignant. Now, the next card is the Page of Swords. And this is not surprising because we have Mercury ready to go retrograde. And the Page of Swords is a messenger, right? And it's a message that doesn't feel great because it's not wrapped in pretty bows. It's not a very, it doesn't feel like a nice message. It's kind of like the truth. The swords are cutting and they're the truth. So sometimes they can be abrasive, they can be brutally honest. So I would say don't shoot the messenger. But I think that this message is going to give you pain. And I think it's all got to do with what this is about. So you're going to feel this Three of Swords. It's clarifying the Page of Swords. This is the thing. The Three of Swords is an old pain. It's iconic, it's the heart with the three swords put through it. And it is, it's pain. There's no two ways about it. But it was installed many years ago. So this message that's going to take you to this pain didn't really cause the pain in the first place. So when the Three of Swords comes into a reading, it's asking you to take this in, look at it, encompass it, bring it into your heart, feel it so that you can release it. And I want to say once and for all, but this pain sometimes comes up again throughout our lives, but never like it did when it was installed. But the pain in this, ironically, is avoiding it. So when we handle it, and we're afraid to handle it because we're afraid of the pain, right? But we're suffering from the pain from not addressing it. That's the irony of this whole Three Swords in the heart. So look, maybe you're hearing that somebody's betrayed you. Maybe you're hearing that somebody's doesn't love you anymore. And it's not that they've cheated, they just don't. There's a light being shed on something that hurts you to the core. But it's a pain. Look, pain is temporary. Everything is transitory. It's going to move on. And particularly if you decide to move on, look, I always think of some of my clients, right? I say to them, You're over here picking up the crumbs. You're hanging on to somebody that doesn't deserve you, doesn't love you the way you deserve to be loved. And you're over here picking up the crumbs and you're missing a great big piece of cake over here. And I always think of this woman years ago. She was dating this guy and he wasn't, she was really kind of laying it thick on him and calling him, and he just didn't have the time. You know that book, he's just not that into you. And she was angry. And I remember saying to her, well, maybe there's something better out there. And she snapped my head off. She was like so bitter. And this guy was paying her no mind. So she goes, she ended up leaving town and she met this guy. And she's still with this guy today. She ended up moving west and living with him. And she's still with him to this day. And I remember a few months later, I saw her and I said, now, if you could have seen into the future, you wouldn't have paid that guy any attention. You went through all that pain and suffering because you chose to. It's our choice, unrequited love. Leave. Don't go for it. Go where it's warm. When you leave that behind, you'll find something or someone who deserves you and loves you the way you should be loved, the way we all need to be loved, unconditionally. And look, darling, it's all going to be okay in the end because you've got the 10 of Pentacles, darling. That's fabulous. That's all your needs being met. That's happy families. It's like everything you've got. Look, he's sitting there with a baby, with a dog, and a couple in a big house. He's surrounded by love and abundance. And that's what you deserve. And, darling, clarified by the wonderful Empress. And the Empress is about abundance, love, manifestation, and creativity. And look, she represents the divine feminine. She's Venus, darling. And Venus is, the planet of relationships and love and abundance and creativity and music and art. So, look, surround yourself. Do something creative, feed your soul, darling. Feed your soul because things are going to be wonderful. Move on from that pain. Leave it behind. It's a waste of energy, darling, because so much more wonderful things are ahead of you. The 6 of Swords, get in that boat. Yes, there's fear of moving on because you don't know what's ahead, but you do know what's ahead, darling, because look, this abundance is ahead. Sagittarius. Listen, these are general readings. If you would like a personal reading, please click on this link here. It'll take you to my website and you can check out the readings that I offer. And what else? Yes, stay tuned for this astrology report coming up next. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, thank you for staying on to listen to the astrology report and find out what's going on in the celestial sky for this week. So this is for the week of February the 10th through the 16th, and there's not a lot going on during the week. There's nothing, well, look, Friday, it's a Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to you guys. I would say if you don't have a Valentine, be your own Valentine. Give yourself a romantic evening, a bubble bath or glass of wine, or, go out with friends, or, pamper yourself in some way. You don't have to feel out of sorts on Valentine's Day, and it's only a commercial holiday anyway, so it's not that important. But there are no exact aspects, and normally I don't talk about the moon, but as it's Valentine's Day, I decided to mention that the moon is in Scorpio. Now, when the moon is in Scorpio, the energy of Scorpio is intense, it's deep, it's meaningful. Scorpio doesn't have time for shallow friends. It's all about, something's got to mean something. It's got to be deep and purposeful. So this is kind of it can be a very intense, romantic evening on Valentine's Day. Now, not only is the moon in Scorpio on Valentine's Day, it also interacts with 3 planets, the first of which is Uranus. The second is Mercury, and the third, closely following that, is Jupiter. Now, Uranus will kind of bring in that unexpected energy. It's the planet of sudden happenings. So plans can change in the flash of an eye. So expect the unexpected. Somebody could call up and cancel plans, or even show up without warning and make plans with you. So remember spontaneity. Remember that word. Be spontaneous. And listen, Mercury's the planet of communication. So, conversations will flow, it'll be flirty, and Jupiter's coming in. There's going to be an abundance of love, laughter, and joy. Now, I will say we are getting ready for Mercury to go retrograde. So we need to be very mindful and cognizant of the things that we say. Our conversations can be taken out of context, and that is not our intention. That may not be our intention, I should say. So we need to be really careful about that. Now, listen, the only day that something major is happening is Sunday. And there are 2 major events on Sunday. The first is Mars moves into Capricorn. Now, whenever a planet moves into another sign, it's huge energy shift. And Mars is this planet of action, right? It wants to be, it's antsy, it's got to be moving all the time. It's got so much energy and it wants to get things done. It's the planet of war, it'll start a war, anything to get moving. So Capricorn is the planet of ambition, but also planning. And actually, Capricorn will plan something and follow it through to completion. So Mars loves being in Capricorn. It's actually exalted in Capricorn, which means he can fully express himself. Mars is very happy in Capricorn and will be able to complete projects and things that are started. So this is an incredible energy to work with. I mean, start anything that you've kind of left on the back shelf, get it out and start doing it, because you will have the stamina that will carry you through to completion. So anything you start is it's a really good opportunity. Ride the crest of the wave, darling, co-create with the universe. And then, darling, the dreaded Mercury going retrograde. Mercury retrograde. If you don't know anything about astrology, I'm sure you've heard of Mercury retrograde. Blame it on Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It's also the planet of logic, your thought process. It rules electronics, mechanics, local travel. So, city, the public transport. So things can be delayed under Mercury retrograde, right? So what we have to do, the first thing we have to do is to allow for extra time to get to work or for any appointments, any important appointments. We must always tack on extra time in anticipation of those delays. Now, we must always check our texts and emails. This energy, Mercury retrograde, we don't see the details. We're completely blinded to certain things that happen to me. We're in the shadow. We're already feeling it right now. So we're in the shadow period, because as Mercury slows down, the qualities of the planets, any planet that slows down ready to go retrograde, all the symbolism from that planet is amplified. So we are really, it's really slowing down. Sunday, it stations to go retrograde. It'll be retrograde till March 8th, 9th, I think it is. I have to double, I'm pretty sure it's March 8th or 9th. And then we have a shadow period after that until it kind of picks up speed when it changes direction. There's a way to handle, you can get a lot of things done in Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde can really help you in certain areas. This is an amazing time or an incredible opportunity to organize and clean and clear out. Donate those clothes that have been there for ages that don't fit you or you haven't worn for a long time. Donate them or sell them. Clear the decks. Minimalism is the word, right? So get rid, and this is a time of reflection. So it's a perfect time to meditate. It's wonderful to sort things out in your house, to clear things out, to get rid of garbage or things that you don't, really just organize and chuck it out. This is a time to plan, but don't execute. So anything that you can do behind the scenes, anything you can prepare, perhaps if you're in a business, you might be developing a new program. That's perfect to do all that work and then launch it when at the new moon or when Mercury goes direct. So we can work with these energies. We'll miss words out, we'll say the wrong words. I'm going to apologize in advance for everything that I say wrong now because that happens. So listen, I just want to say I do have a Facebook group that's an astrology group, and it's a private group, and every 2 weeks I do a live feed in that group, and we look at the new moon and the full moon and how we receive it respectively every 2 weeks. So whomever shows up will look at their sign and we'll see which area of their lives they're receiving this energy and whatever else is going on. And then I also have my tarot cards on hand to answer questions. So it's a lovely group. It's filled with love. My only requirement is that you do have a profile photo and you've had an account for a while. I don't want fake accounts, so I've had to erase a couple of accounts that were fake. And but it's lovely. It's such a lovely thing. So I hope you will join me there. Listen, sign up for my newsletter because some really cool things are coming up and I'm going to be letting people know. Everything is below. All the links below, you can check it out. Another way to help me is through Patreon. And I post things on there I don't post anywhere else. And I put the report, the astrological report, the written report, I put that up before these videos are released there. And there's different tiers. You can support me for as little as $1 a month there. It's not a lot of money, but it is to me. I can do a lot with that. So what else? That's it. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.